Hi everyone, this video is going to show you, now that we know how to create files, how to create directories and start to be able to move around the file system. This is really important because obviously when you take your software out onto the customer site, then you'll drop it in a location and then you'll have to obviously move the files into different places based on their purpose. So this is a key skill to know on a Linux machine. Let's just first take a look at the slide from the previous video on the actual wonderfully drawn file hierarchy. Apologies, I don't have proper board cleaner at home, so I'm doing my best to try and clean it, so it's getting a wee bit dirty. Hopefully you can see that anyway. So this is the stage we're at just now. We've got the set of standard directories, so we've got the root. Remember, the root's always slash, /, and we've got the list of standard directories that come with install. This isn't the full list, it goes right off the end. And then the one we're focusing on is that the inside the home directory is where it automatically creates you your own directory for your user. So right now we've got two users in my system, one called Don Wilson, which we saw had quite a few things in it, some directories and some files, some subdirectories, and then one that we created way back in video 1, which is student, which has nothing in it. So let's now log in as the student and build a wee bit of a hierarchy for the student. So logging in as a student user. Oh no, I think I typed the wrong thing. Yeah, for the password, sorry. Every time I need to go slower. Student, take my time. There we go, brilliant. Okay, so again, if you look at the prompt, username student at Debian, and the location on the machine is squiggle, it's the tilde. So remember the squiggle, the tilde, is shorthand for you're in your own home directory. What's the home directory? Let's go back to the slide. So the home directory is /home/student. So hopefully you've read the slides and how these file paths work, but every time we move down a level, we need to put a slash to indicate we're moving down. So we start at the top, slash, then we go into home, then a slash to move down, and then we go to student. That's where we're currently sitting as soon as we log in, because we've logged in as student. Now, you can't really see that because it's using the shorthand, which is the tilde. To prove it to you, I've got a command which will be, again, one of your best used commands you have. It's really easy to get lost with where you are when you're mucking around on Linux. So best command is this one, pwd, which stands for print working directory. Basically it's the where am I command. So this tells me that I am in /home/student. So it is telling me and agreeing that I'm in /home/student. So I'm in here right now. PWD is fab, it just reminds you where you are all the time. What I would recommend is that when you're mucking around and learning, I would do what I do and actually have a bit of paper and draw everything out that you create, because it does help when to visualise the actual hierarchy sometimes, so that you can try and figure out where you're going. Once you get good at it, you won't need to draw it out, but it's really, really helpful. And sometimes these hierarchies can get massive, so it gets to the point where you just can't draw it out. So you'd maybe draw out a sub part of it. If you were just focused on one directory, you would draw out that directory's tree structure. Okay, let's go back to where we were. So I've just shown you that pwd, print working directory, tells me I'm in /home/student. So let's make some directories in here. Okay, so to make a directory, the command is mkdir. Quite sensible. So shorthand for make directory. So you can make them one at a time, or you can actually provide as many directory names as you want. So the command has got arguments. So remember, inputs. Going back to video 2, we talked about commands. So I'm going to say make a directory, and I'm going to make a directory called week 1, another one called week 2, and a third one called week 3. Really original. Okay, so hit return, and as I said to you guys before, it doesn't actually tell you anything, so don't expect any okay or thumbs up. You just have to know that it's not came back with an error, so it means it's worked. Let's check though. Let's use our ls command to check. So ls, let's use the option -L to switch on the long listing. So that shows us that at 1 minute past 6, so just a minute ago, we've created these 3 directories, week 1, week 2 and week 3. So they are there. What does that look like? Let's go back to the PowerPoint, and here's one I drew earlier. So right now, inside student, we've created these 3. And you can see a wee sneak ahead, we're going to create something inside one of the directories. Right now, we've got this level here, week 1, week 2 and week 3. So let's go back to here. Right, actually, looking at this slide, you can see that I've decided I want to create a file inside that week 1 directory. So, in order to create the file, I could actually create it here and tell it when I create it to actually put it into this location. But just to give you guys practice, I am going to show you how you can move into a different directory. So I'm going to show you how we can move into the week 1 directory and actually come in here to actually create it. So to change into a different directory, so to move, we use this command cd. So cd literally stands for change directory. So I'm going to change directory into week 1. Now please be aware, you can only change directory if you can specify the path to get to that location. What exactly does that mean? Okay, well right now I'm sitting here, I'm in the student directory. So to get into the week 1 directory, I just need to give it the name week 1 because it's in here. Not a big issue. But you'll see in a minute, what if I'm in here and decide I want to go away over here? Well, obviously there's no link. The best way to think about it is when you're trying to refer to a file or a directory, you've got to think if where you're currently sitting, if you can follow a line to get there. So if you can't follow the line, so for instance, if I'm moving over to here, if I want to go to week 2 over here, and I'm sitting here, there's no line that connects them. So I can't do it by just saying week 2. So I would have to actually follow. I'd need to go up to student, then I would need to go across to Don Wilson, and then I'd need to go down into week 2. So you literally have to follow the path. You have to walk along the branches of the tree. You can't walk in mid-air. Okay, anyway, back to what we're doing here. So we're going to change directory into week 1. And that's fine because we've got a connection into week 1. So we can do that. So cd, change directory, week 1. If I do an ls -L, use my up arrow to save me typing, there's nothing in there yet because we've not created anything. So let's create a file. So remember how to create a file using the touch command if you're not bothered about putting any content in it, which I'm not. So I'm just going to call it week 1 ex for exercise. So now if I issue the command again, ls-L, scroll down so you guys can see I've now got a file called week 1 ex size 0 and it's owned by student. So we've managed to successfully create that file. So what does our hierarchy look like now? Well, it looks like this slide. So now inside the week 1 folder, I've got this file week 1 ex. Let's go back here. I'm kind of getting confused. Where am I just now? Remember, print working directory. So it's telling me that I'm inside, if I follow the path right from the root, from slash, start at slash, go to home, then go to student, then go to week 1. So I start at home, slash, go to home, then I have to go to student, then I have to go to week 1. So I'm inside here. So remember, PWD is fab. Okay, let's say I want to go back a step. I actually want to go back up to this level here so that I can see these directories right now. Because right now I'm down here. So as we just did, when I do an ls, all I can see is that file. Just the week 1 ex. I can't see those directories anymore because the directories are back up a level. So how do we go up the way? So going down the way is easy because we just basically say the next location in the path we want to go to. To go back up, we've got a special notation, which is the ... notation. So we still use change directory, but to go up 1 level, we do ... If I wanted to go up 2 levels, then I would say, okay, go up 1 level, and then I need to put in a slash to say, right, that's me at that level. and now I want to go up another level, and say I want to go up another level. So you can, there's no limit as long as obviously you don't reach the top of the hierarchy. That is your limit. So right now I've said go up ... one level, ... two levels, three levels. So what would that happen? What would happen here? So I'm right here just now. So one level would take me up to that level. Second jump would take me up to this level. Third jump is going to take me up to this level. Okay, so let's just go up one level just now to show you what that looks like. So up one level, cd ... So now just to prove, so going up one should mean that I've went up one, so I should now be on this level here. So I should be able to see week 1, week 2, week 3. So let's do an ls. There we go. I can see week 1, week 2, and week 3. If I want to check where I am, print working directory, I'm in the student directory. Okay, let's go back down to week 1 again. So I'm going to go back down into week 1. Print working directory, so I'm inside week 1 underneath student. So back down here again. So let's say I want to go up to home. I want to have a look and see what's inside the home directory. So home, I'm down here. So one step, 2 steps takes me up to, 1 step up to the weeks, and then in the student directory, then 1 step up to the home directory. So cd, so that takes me up to student. So you can actually, if you look at the line above, sorry I can't use my mouse to point, but if you look at the line above, if I go up one level, you'll see from the PWD, one level is going to take me up to student. Yeah? And then if I go up another level, working our way back, looking at the line above, that's going to take me to home. That's another, probably even easier way of doing it than looking at your drawing, to be honest, is do a PWD and work it out from there. So let's see, and that has worked, because if you look at my prompt now says I'm in /home. So in /home I should have Don Wilson and student. So let's see if I do an ls, use my up arrow to save me typing, I've got Don Wilson and student. So that is a great wee notation to get used to for moving around. Now let's get a wee bit more complicated. Okay, let's say I want to go, so let me go back to where I was. So I was in CD, I was in student, and where do I want to go after student? I want to go into week 1, let's say. So I follow the path. So I'm currently here, and I want to go student / week 1. So student / week. Whoops, need to spell it right, okay, because it is case sensitive. So now I'm back in here. So let's just do an ls-l, and we can see the week 1 EX. So I'm in that location, PWD. There we are. I'm in week 1. So right now I am here. I'm in week 1, which has got this file in it. So I would like to go to week 1 over here. So this is the problem I was talking about earlier. I can't jump across because there's no link connecting them. We've got space. So I'm going to have to basically work my way back up, figuring it out at the earliest point that I can go across. So if we look, then I can do it in one of 2 ways. So this is the path names that are in the slides. So this is me talking about relative paths and absolute paths. So a relative path would mean giving the location of what it is you want to access based on your current position. Okay, so this is the more complex one to use. So based on my current position, if I want to go from here over to here, I have to follow the path. I can't jump gaps. So to follow that path, if I'm in here, let's go back and look at how many steps I would need to take. So I need to basically follow up here. I need to go up to student, and then I need to go to home, along here, then I need to go back down to Don Wilson, and then week 1. So to get up to home, if we look at the line above where my prompt is just now, 1 step would take me up to student, 2 steps would take me up to home. Okay, so if I do cd ... that's going to take me up to student, and then another ... takes me up to home. So at this point, I'm sitting here. That's good, because now I can go down to Don Wilson and then down to week 1. So now I just need to say, right, from here, go down to Don Wilson, down to week 1. So down, oh, if I can spell, down to Don Wilson, and then down to, not home, week 1. Have I spelled everything right? So I'm going to hit return. Phew, looks like we've got there. Now we can see on the prompt, you can see we're now in /home/Don Wilson/week 1. Just in case you don't believe, let's just do a PWD just to prove. So we are now in /home/Don Wilson/week 1. So /home Don Wilson week 1. So we've made it. But to get there, we had to go up 1 step, 2 step, and then back down, because we had to follow where the link was. You can't jump spaces. So that's using what we call a relative path name. So that was based on us starting in our current location, so our current working directory, and given the directions of how to get there from our current position. The other way you can do it is you can use an absolute path. The absolute path will give direction on how to get where you want to go from the root. So it's the full path you would take if you started at the root. So to start at the root, you need to put / at the beginning, because that is the root location. I'll show you this again. Oh, I'm not clicked on the right thing, sorry. There we go. So starting at the root, so you have to put / to see I'm starting at the root. So starting at the root, to get to Don Wilson week 1, we would come down into home, then down into Don Wilson, then down into week 1. So starting at the root, down into home, down into Don Wilson, down into week 1. And again, PWD tells us that's where we are. So you've got 2 different options. You can either use absolute paths, which start from the root, or you can use relative paths. Now you're probably thinking, well, that would have been far easier, Dawn, if we just used the absolute path. In that example, it would have been. But if you were just hopping around within a branch, then it would be easier to use your relative path just to do a couple of hops, rather than specifying a big long list of the location from the root. So they both have their advantages based on the where you're trying to get to, basically. Okay, so have a play around. Can't break anything. If you get lost, PWD to check where you're at. In actual fact, you don't even really need to do PWD, because if you look at your prompt, it tells you at your prompt where you are as well. But not all environments are set up to tell you that. Okay, so that's something to be aware of. When you install Linux, there's certain environmental settings. So we've got the setting so that the prompt does show your location. I have, in most cases, been in the situation where the prompt actually doesn't show your location, so you will be using PWD all the time. So don't always rely on having the exact same environment, because they might not have set up the environment fully. So just be aware of that. Okay, that's bringing us to the end of this video, guys. The next one is going to be, okay, so we now know how to create files, we can create directories, we can move around. Now, how about we learn how to move files around the place? So let's work on how we can copy files. If we want to change the name of files, if we want to delete files, that's the next thing we're going to look at.